Thank you very much. I also want to introduce you, Julieta Angulo. Please, Julieta, joins us here. Julieta is the chair of the council, the Business Council of Women and Men. Then please join us. Thank you very much. Here, just to sit here. And last but not least, as also speaker, please, yes, Julieta. No, not the food. No, also one of the members of the delegation of UC Davis, Roland Fowler. Here, okay. Will share with us some thoughts, please.
Okay. Thank you, good afternoon, and really thank you for giving us the opportunity to share what we are doing in our college and kind of give you an idea and hopefully spur some additional collaborations. We already have some. So our college really recently, just last year, came up with a new strategic plan with 4 strategic goals, which really fit very well with the theme of this whole visit. The first one is really revolutionize energy systems. The second is strengthening climate resilience, transforming mobility, and advancing human health. So this strategic plan really fits very well with what everybody here is talking about. Of course, as a College of Engineering, we are looking at more from the technology side than from the agricultural side. So we are complementing what Ermi has just talked about. One of the joint tools which all of these are using is data science and machine learning. So artificial intelligence, machine learning is really going through everything what our college is doing currently. I also want to talk about 2 centers. Our college is one just finished and the other one we are just starting. One is really kind of as we are Institute of Higher Education, we of course have to train the next generation. And one of the things what we have to do in engineering is really teach them the hands-on use of the future tools. So we just finished the Engineering Student Design Center, and thank you very much, Gary May, for supporting that also from the university side, and it's really supported largely by our great donors. So it's really a great public-private partnership to build this new center, which literally opens on Cinco de Mayo, so just in a few weeks. And now we are building the first post-harvest coffee center in the country, where really we do everything from the green beans, so not before that Ermias aside, so after we have the green beans, to get it all the way to a cup of coffee. So really, it is unusual for an engineering college, but really our idea of sustainability, collaboration, really is very well represented in this. Some of our colleagues actually also really work currently already with Mexico in the areas in which we are talking about here. There is a collaboration of Professor Frank Vlosch with Tec de Monterrey, who looks at water systems, particularly in improving distribution of water in the Monterrey area. And there's also a very strong work in the area of advanced artificial intelligence for food systems that's led by Professor Takopoulos in the computer science department, working with communities all over the United States as well as also outside, including Mexico, and a lot of people also from the biological and agricultural engineering department, which is actually shared with Ermias' college, are involved in all of this. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity for a short overview of our college.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Roland. Well, now is the time for Mexico. Paola will share with us some thoughts about her very, very important job, and especially all the different tasks that she has been implementing and all the projects that are now not only projects but reality. And please, Paola.
Thank you, Cesar. Thank you, all of you. It was really, really interesting listening to you and thinking about the actions that we can do together. And especially, instead of sharing what we're doing in Jalisco, I would like to share some of the thoughts that I was connecting when I was listening to you and when I was like confronting the reality that we have here in Jalisco and in Mexico regarding the social conditions of young women, girls, and women. And I would like to share you that just a month ago we were participating in the Commission CSW 67 in the United Nations. It's the Commission for the Social Condition of Women. And the main theme that was discussed there was how are we doing as a world and as nations regarding the access of technology for women and girls, and how this use of technology can help us to improve the inequalities and challenges regarding the inequalities, the violence, and the lack of access to culture, to technology, to education, and to equal pay and gender conditions, equal gender conditions for women and girls. And I would like to invite you to think about the things that the really, really important things that you do in the academic level and also in the private sectors, and a connection that this dialogue can make to make better policies, policies in our country, but also in California, in order to have to close the gaps that are confronting the reality of girls, young women, and women. And one of the issues that we observed was that the technology, the access to technology, and the alphabetization to the use of technology and tools for women is not the same as for men. No, there's a huge gap regarding the opportunities of women and young women to have an understanding of how they can use the technologies as tools to improve their lives. And there's a big gap in this area. And also there's a big gap in the participation of women in STEM areas in all over the world, but in Mexico it's still a big gap, no? And this is also impacts the way they can have access to better jobs, to better employments, to employments that not only contribute to themselves, but also to the communities that they belong to. So I think that we have a big challenge on that area, and universities can do a great job. The public universities, but also the private universities, we can do a big collaborative job to improve and to close that gap. Also, digital violence is also another main problem that we have confronted, and that is been all over the world. And we need to have better strategies, I think, to implement ways to regulate this type of violence, and ways to sensitize not only women, but also men, in order to eradicate this type of violence, and to have better strategies to report it and to sanction it. I think it's also a very important issue. Also, the use of technology to generate various data regarding inequalities, regarding gender gaps, economical gaps, and also regarding the situation of violence that women, girls, and young girls experience. I think it's a very important area also that we need to make contributions, to collaborate together, to implement different platforms to generate data that can help us to make better policies and to regulate and make protocols in the universities, in the public sector also. And I think this is something that if we merge the collaboration between academia, the private sector, and the public policymakers, we will contribute to generate data that can inform the public policies we're designing, and I think that's very important. And also I was listening to all of you and seeing that a lot of the contributions that UC Davis makes is in the agriculture sector and the food sector, and we have a strong reality here on rural workers and especially women that accompany the rural workers. Many women are not only now that they work also the land, and we have also a conflict and a problem situation regarding the ownership of lands. And we have heard also that technology can help us to detect where are the main areas where women are working the land, but they don't own the land. And ownership of land, it's a great tool for empowerment of women and for having them to have access or the possibility to be economically autonomous. And so that's also something that I think that's a possibility to work together to make the best use of technology in order to improve the ownership of lands and also the labor the rights for women that work the lands in Mexico. No? I think that's very, very important. And I would like also to finish my remarks regarding also the important role that academics, university, and also, of course, the private and the public services we have on involving boys and men into having a more active role in the caring system. They need to be more co-responsible on this system. And I was listening to Juan Carlos regarding the actions that we are trying to do regarding the sensitization of families. But I think the active involvement of boys and men in the caring responsibilities in order to have a more balanced role in the caring system, it's also a great challenge, and I think that universities have a great job and a very important job on doing that. And I think that if we can reach boys and men in order to convince them that they can be allies of equality, that they can really get involved in an active manner to close the injustice and to close the inequalities that affect especially girls and women in the world, all over the world, not only in Mexico and in Jalisco, I think there's a big step that we can do in order to contribute to have a more equal and just life for everyone, not only for women and girls. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paola. You have been doing a great job. Thank you very much for it. Especially the things that you were mentioning about agribusiness sector. We have a lot of ladies now working with us. More than 50% of our labor are ladies, not only from Mexico, but also from Central America, and many other parts of Mexico are coming to Jalisco to produce and to not only to help, maybe the guys are helping the ladies. Thank you very much, Paola. Thank you. Now is the time for Alfonso Pompa. He's in charge of innovation. He's in charge of innovation. Jalisco is one of the most important states in Mexico in innovation. That's why we have the Secretary of Innovation and a former Secretary of Innovation that after Alfonso, I will ask Jaime Reyes, is member of COINCyDES, also to explain how our main project in COINCyDES is going on. Please, Alfonso.
Thank you, Cesar. I will make it short. Don't worry. I'm sorry I'm not wearing a jacket or a suit, but in my prior life, in my prior job, I used to wear a suit and tie every day for 35 years. And then I was invited by the governor for 6 years, and I still have 1 year and a half in front of me to retire, and I try to stretch the life of my jackets and my... So sorry. And I didn't know I was about to speak. So, very welcome to Jalisco and to Guadalajara. It is an honor to have this opportunity to talk to you and hopefully to foster the relation and create new projects of collaboration. I would like to say that the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology has two general areas. One, we are also the Ministry of Higher Education, which is very important also because we have a very diverse and rich ecosystem of universities. Of course, the most important one being the University of Guadalajara, very well represented now by Gustavo Padilla. He is the rector of the Business and Economic campus of the University of Guadalajara, which, by the way, is also the largest. And also we have a very large group of very good private universities. You know some of them, Monterrey Tech being one of them, University of Panamericana, the rector already left, and the University Autonomous of Guadalajara, which I believe you are visiting after this meeting. And we have a very good relation with all of them, all of them. And I believe it is a very good idea to have a ministry such as the Innovation, Science and Technology Ministry. Is very unique in Mexico. And I can tell you freely about what a good idea this is because I didn't create it. The creator and the founder is Mr. Jaime Reyes over there. We are still fixing some of the of the issues, but he is the one that created that, and it was a very disruptive idea at the beginning, and he did a great job, so the ministry continued, the only state that continued because of his leadership. And the other main area, of course, is innovation, science, and technology. What we do in innovation is mostly we support SMEs, small and medium-sized companies, to develop their models, business models, and to innovate, to be more competitive. And the general public also, in terms of innovation. And then we have science and technology. And for science and technology, we have a council, the State Council of Science and Technology, where we have the trust, the fund, and the trust to support the research and the technology developments of universities, research centers, and industry as well. And we are mostly focused on biotech for agribusiness, biomed also. Of course, biotech for agribusiness is very important because, as Cesar mentioned, Jalisco is the most important state in Mexico in terms of production of agribusinesses. He mentioned eggs. Of course, Jalisco is very large in eggs, but we have some other crops, for example, well, some other businesses like pork, milk, and also berries, avocados, and of course the most important one that is holding the world together, which is tequila. Tequila and the whole agave industry, and I truly mean it. And also, besides biotech for agribusiness, we do have biomed. We are strong in biomed also in Jalisco. We have very good health schools, medicine schools, and also an industry related to health. And of course, Jalisco is known as the Silicon Valley of Mexico because of so many large corporations from the world coming into Jalisco. I can mention very important brands from the States, like Intel. They do have a technology campus in our town. And also we have Continental and Bosch, both German companies that do have also a research development centers in Jalisco. And a new one coming, C3 AI, and artificial intelligence, which is becoming very important also in town. So besides the agribusiness and biomed, we have very strong interest in digital technologies. By digital technologies, I mean not only computer science, with everything related to computer science, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, and of course everything related to data science and so on, but also electronics and mostly the design of semiconductors. We are working very close with universities to foster the programs and to working also with industry, because the main constraint now for this industry to growth in Jalisco is, as it happens in every hub of technology in the world, talent. And we do have a very strong pool of talent, but if we want to continue growing in that area, we need to generate and to educate more talent or to bring talent from across the country and even Latin America. And by the way, we are also working with industry to pursue that goal. So mostly is biotech for agribusiness, biomed, electronics, computer science, and also advanced manufacturing. We have become also a very strong site, a very strong hub for manufacturing. And of course, we need to advance in terms of advanced manufacturing. What we are trying to do is to develop our own technology, not only to bring technology and to adapt it to Mexican requirements, but also we are working very close with the research centers, universities, and industry to develop our own technology. And in that sense, I see so many opportunities to work with your prestigious universities, and of course we are very open to do that and to support the efforts of our universities and research centers in terms of exchanges and projects of collaboration. By the way, there is the most prestigious universities of the state. They have formed what is called the International Consortium of Universities, and all of them do have very good relation with your university and some others. I think in research and technology development, we not only focus on solving problems for specific sectors of the industry, but also what we call the social challenges that we as a society have to face, and almost every society has to face some common challenges, like water, like environment, like air pollution, public transportation, and so many others. So we also have a branch, and we have some funds to support some of these projects. We are working mostly in supporting some of the projects related to the river, which is called the Santiago River. It's one of the largest rivers in the country and one of the most polluted. And the governor committed since the beginning of his administration to solve, or at least to help and to work in the sense of cleaning the river. And we are developing technology with the support of some universities and research centers funded by our funds. That's one of the examples. We have done some others for the environment in general and for our air and some others. So that's a general idea, and I am at your service and willing to cooperate and to stretch the relations with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alfonso. Well, I want to emphasize two talking points of Alfonso. The first one, tequila. We have been dealing with Lily and the rest of the team, maybe to make this business meeting in tequila or chapala, but mainly in tequila. Unfortunately, well, Guadalajara is now a big metropolitan. It's really difficult to go back and forth to Tequila and to be at the University of Autónoma de Guadalajara at 3 p.m. Then next time, it's our commitment to invite you again, Mr. Chairman, to have you here as soon as possible, to invite you to Tequila and to enjoy this, not only the beverage, but the weather and the small town, that it's really magical. Then Jaime, the second talking point that Alfonso mentioned, innovation, the development of knowledge, the development of talent, and that's why we are working with you, and also Francisco Anton and his wife that are also visiting us. They are part of COINCyDES Innovación, COINCyDES Innovation. Then we have a big project here that it's making a lot of good noise, and that's why Gustavo Padilla, also the Dean of CUSEA at Universidad de Guadalajara, he's also helping us a lot to make it happen. Jaime, please.
Well, welcome all the delegation that we have from UC Davis. It's an honor. It is a privilege to talk to some of you, and I'm going to steal some of your phrases that you have in your slide. We are catalyzing breakthrough solutions. So it is, we are in a time when everything is changing and all sectors are being remodeled. So this is a time where we need to really shorter the time to get the solutions for the big challenges that we have. So, as Alfonso was mentioning, the ecosystem that we have in Jalisco, that we have built for the last 50 years, so it is not a casualty that we have in Jalisco this ecosystem of innovation, science and technology, because we have built that ecosystem for the last 40, 45 years. And we have faced a lot of challenges through all this time. And the key is that we have adapted to the different circumstances. And now I'm going to steal another phrase from you, predict. We just cannot wait to get the problems coming to us. We need to predict and to get ahead of the challenges and the problems that we have. In fact, we have in COINCyDES, we have several committees, and the committee that I'm coordinating is COINCyDES Innovation. And in the time of the pandemic on COVID-19, we come up with several solutions from this committee. Now that, well, the challenges are not over yet, but now we're focusing on probably two big or three big challenges that we have. One is education. You know, without education, we don't have the background or the substance to evolve into a different level in the ecosystem that we have. But we're approaching in a different way, not in the traditional way, where we are, like Alfonso was saying, we're lacking a lot of talent. And that lack of talent, or that gap that we have in talent, has prevented us to go for a lot of projects that are coming to Jalisco, to Mexico, but since we don't have that talent, we cannot get these projects coming into. So we're focusing on digital knowledge and programming. We have a gap of open jobs in Jalisco more than 6,000. In Mexico, we have more like 500,000. In the States, I think that the gap is more than 1.5 million. So everybody is asking for getting, developing this talent rather quick to solve this lack of, this gap that we have. So one focus is how to get a very breakthrough solution that in 14 to 15 months, not in 4 years, we can come out with people that don't have a university degree, or maybe they do, or maybe they have a PhD, but also people in high school that they don't have the privilege that we have had on going into university. So also this is focusing on the inequality that we have for the population that we have in Jalisco in education. So we're working with Gustavo in CUSEA, who has a very good vision to come out with a smart campus. And this part of that smart campus is getting this kind of projects that are not traditionally housed in the universities. And we're about to launch this project in the next months. This is a program that is in 25 countries. And there are 100,000 students already being educated. So it is not something that we are doing in the vacuum. And also the importance is that we are going to get into this network of 25 countries, that we will share best practices and knowledge. So that is why it's so important to talk to UC Davis, to incorporate UC Davis into this network that we're building. The second is the challenge that we have in the small and business companies. SMEs are probably 99% the number of production units that we have in Mexico. So it's the core of the economy. Is more than 75% of GDP. But they have not developed technology because they don't have neither the expertise or the financial tools that they need to evolve into the next stage of the ecosystem that we have. We have done it very well right now because the electronic, the high-end technology that we have is the main sector that has provided jobs in Jalisco and also attracting foreign investment. But we haven't done what is key for Jalisco and Mexico, is technology transfer, to develop our own industry, as Alfonso was saying. So what we have done, and we're working with Francisco in this committee, to have agreements with the main universities, local universities, and national universities, and research centers, to come up with solutions for SMEs to digitalize the processes and also to develop technology that they can develop products and services of higher value and not only export raw materials. So that is a challenge that we have in Latin America. We have blessed with a lot of natural resources, but also that is in detriment of our progress and development. So this is key, and I invite UC Davis to come out and help and have a liaison and incorporate UC Davis into this networking and these initiatives that we're building, so we can have a better Jalisco, better country, and also better North American region. Because we are fighting a lot of nonsense fights that are not helping us anymore. So why don't we partner with universities like UC Davis to develop the country in a level that we can have jobs for people that are looking for jobs in the US. So we have already done a network. So I have a lot of the telephones and WhatsApp So what we have committed is have 1 or 2 projects. Because, you know, talking is easy, but acting is difficult. Having 1 or 2 projects that we have implemented in the short term with the cooperation of UC Davis and the local universities. Gracias.
Gracias. Gracias. Thank you. We are almost finishing the meeting. Before asking Liliana to make her final remarks of this meeting, I will ask Raúl Flores to mention a little bit about the private sector in the state of Jalisco, how important is this kind of meetings for the sector. Thank you, Raúl.
Thank you, Cesar. Thank you, everyone. Well, I would like to explain a little bit what we do at COPARMEX. COPARMEX is a business union created 93 years ago. We're the third. We support, and our partners are the people that are members of COPARMEX. We have 1/3 of the GDP of the state. So we are very influential. We get into not just business, we also act, you know, has a link with the government. We have very good relationship with the government. But we like to say that we are very highly political, but very much with no support to any party whatsoever. The state of Jalisco is it's an oasis in Mexico right now. I mean, we are very lucky. We have a very strong relationship with the government. Local government has applied many policies that are, you know, putting Jalisco at the state as an oasis in Mexico for investment and for opportunities. Also, that has created some challenges. There is a partial shortage in labor, and that's why those agreements with universities to try to get in place policies where we can help our, you know, get our people prepared for the new challenges in this new era. It's very helpful. So as a business union, we can be a link from to the academia, to the government, and also to our members, because we can put that link that sometimes for investment lacks. So I didn't have anything prepared, but basically this is a very wide view of what we do at COPARMEX, and if we can help you in any way, please feel free to contact us, and we'll do our best. Thank you.
Yes, you are completely right, Raúl. Jalisco is an oasis. We are very proud to be here. It's really an oasis because Guadalajara and Jalisco is a land to live, to enjoy, and to work. And to be linked also with UC Davis and California, it's something that it's very strategic for us. Working together really works. Then thank you very much for coming. And please, Lily, your final remarks.
Thank you, Cesar. Well, first of all, I want to recognize Dr. Nicolas Pinter, which I did not introduce, is one of our leading specialists of UC Davis that is also a member of this very important delegation, as well as the representative of the state of Baja California. We have the Undersecretary of Economy, Saúl de los Santos. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos, Saúl. And obviously, thank all the speakers that have presented today on behalf of Jalisco, all the Secretary of Equality, Paola Lazo, Juan Carlos Flores, Secretary of Education, Alfonso Pompa, Sergio Graf, Jaime Reyes, and Raúl Flores. Thank you so much. And obviously, first and foremost, Cesar de Anda, once again, for inviting us and for sponsoring us and for bringing us together today. I just want to conclude with three thoughts. One that came up time and time again that Paola fortunately brought up was the issue of empowerment of women and the importance of the role of women in the economy today, and how important it is for development of societies in all ways and at all levels. I want to highlight the role that UC Davis is playing in empowering women and girls in California. 40% of the population of the state of California are Latinos, most of them Mexicans, many of them women. And UC Davis participates in a wonderful, wonderful event, which is Steps to College, Pasos a la Universidad, with the Mexican government. They are our main sponsor. We host a binational and bilingual university fair on our site. Over 2,000 students from the high school level, most of them undocumented, come to the consulate to learn to navigate the system. And the monies that are left over go towards scholarship, again, to benefit mostly undocumented and DACA students. And that is at the consulate. And just a month or two, immediately after, UC Davis itself hosts the Cesar Chavez University Fair, hosting around 5,000 also high school students or more, and with the same objective. Again, education empowers everyone, men and women, and we need to promote education amongst our daughters. But the best way to promote it is by example, and by example I mean by parenting. And we have two parents here, Chancellor May and Lachelle May, that are both successful professionals. Lachelle May, an engineer in her own right, a CNN top leader, a designer in IT. And when our daughters, but our sons, see that father and mother, just the same with myself, that both my husband and I are professionals, that's a great example. And that's a great way of educating that men and women should have equal responsibility inside and outside the home. So let's empower. Let's empower our children through education. And as most recently, Dolores Huerta, we all know her as a very important and recognized and prominent agricultural leader and activist, together with Cesar Chavez, said in her 93rd birthday just about a week ago, it's not a matter of men or women and men. It's he for she for he, and let's all be feminists, right? Men and women together in the room working as a team together. That's what it's all about. So that's my first point. My second point is, as Chancellor May very proudly and correctly says, because he is a Star Trek fan, he says, as we boldly go. So as an Aggie myself, a UC Davis alum, I will boldly go right now and make a proposal. Chancellor May spoke about Aggie Square, and many of you in the Jalisco invitee guest list have also stated the necessity of more collaboration and more cooperation. Let me just say, Jalisco, use Aggie Square. collaborate and cooperate with Aggie Square, have a greater presence. Mexico, have a greater presence in Aggie Square, share ideas, perhaps propose internships. Why don't Jalisco businesses propose that you have internships in California, in the Sacramento region, and vice versa? And it doesn't only have to be amongst businesses. Let's have students, graduate students, come and intern with you. We were already working pre-pandemic times with the wine sector, with having graduate students from the viticulture School of Enology of UC Davis come to the Valley of Guadalupe and intern with businesses there. So that is a bold idea. Please run with it and take advantage of this great potential. And the third idea is that cross-border collaboration that Dr. Jonah Massett was so right on the dot. We need to collaborate more. We need to share information. And this is what these meetings are all about. Starting conversations amongst government, amongst academia, and the private sector. But not only that, let's also share with scientists information on crucial issues of the day, like pandemics. And here I want to point out that perhaps that is already taking place, but in these conversations we have to find out more about them. I'm very proud to introduce Iván Valdez Ferrer. He's a neurologist at the center, the Research Center of Nutrición in Mexico City, who has done research with UC Santa Cruz and is currently doing research with Stanford University. And as I told Chancellor May, nobody's perfect, right? But he's also done research with the UC system on COVID precisely, and on how it impacts Mexicans, but trying to see how it impacts Mexicans that are in California, and perhaps sharing the information with Mexican specimens that are taking place here. And you can talk to him more about the detail. But I'm very proud to call him my cousin too. He's one of the neurologists that are mostly respected in Mexico. Finally, I just once again want to thank Cesar de Anda. It's all about bringing people together, right? And that is how we bring about solutions, and solutions that are very necessary today because of all the challenges that have been presented to us, be it climate change or pandemics or other wicked issues, as Dr. Jonah Massett has called them. So I just want to end by saying that Mexico has a very important role to play, and that is why I worked so hard with people like Cesar de Anda to bring this UC Davis delegation to Mexico. We have played a leading role not only in bilateral affairs, but I was speaking to Dr. Jonah Massett also in multilateral affairs, and perhaps we have to play a greater role, all of us together, not only bilaterally, but multilaterally, because of issues like the one that was presented yesterday. So let me end by saying let us all boldly go, but let us boldly go together, Mexico and California. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you. I will say it in Spanish. Eres una crack. Gracias. Tenemos unos presentes. We have some gifts for the speakers of today. Then is the end of the meeting, and I really would like to thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please, it's just a piece of a local artist. As you can notice within the city, there are a lot of new sculptures and artwork, and this is one of the models that this artist is putting in different parts of the city. Then it's just a souvenir for you, but it's a way to fly. We need to fly, and we need to make our dreams fly. And well, as Liliana said, we already sent to Liliana offices a draft of a letter of intent or a draft of a memorandum of understanding between Instituto COINCyDES that we will promote within the next few months. It's a reality. It's already alive. It's already integrated by members, and Instituto COINCyDES is proposing to sign a memorandum of understanding with UC Davis in order to make these projects that you have mentioned happen. Internships, collaboration between our people with your people, to send Mexican people to UC Davis and to have UC Davis people working with our teams and our companies. I think this dream could be flying or not. Thank you very much.